Question 1. Is the statement below true or false? Participating in your community is a fundamental principle of British life. True. The fundamental principles of British life include democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs, participation in community life. Question 2. Is the statement below true or false? The Channel Islands and the Isle of Man are part of the UK. False. There are also several islands which are closely linked with the UK but are not part of it, the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man. Question 3. Is the statement below true or false? There is a dragon on the official flag of Wales. True. There is also an official Welsh flag, which shows a Welsh dragon. Question 4. Is the statement below true or false? The Restoration refers to the re-establishment of Catholicism as the official church in the 17th century. False. In May 1660, Parliament invited Charles II to come back from exile in the Netherlands. He was crowned King Charles II of England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. Charles II made it clear that he had no wish to go on his travels again. He understood that he could not always do as he wished but would sometimes need to reach agreement with Parliament. Generally, Parliament supported his policies. The Church of England again became the established official church. Both Roman Catholics and Puritans were kept out of power. Question 5. Which two of the following were British inventions? B. Jet engine. D. Television. The television was developed by Scotsman John Logie Baird, 1888 to 1946, in the 1920s. In 1932 he made the first television broadcast between London and Glasgow. The jet engine was developed in Britain in the 1930s by Sir Frank Whittle, 1907 to 96, a British Royal Air Force engineer officer. Question 6. What were two important aspects of the Reform Act of 1832? A. It abolished rotten boroughs. D. It increased the number of people who could vote. The Reform Act of 1832 had greatly increased the number of people with the right to vote. The Act also abolished the old pocket and rotten boroughs. Question 7. Which famous leader said the following: "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the street, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender"? D. Winston Churchill. Churchill was the son of a politician and, before becoming a Conservative MP in 1900, was a soldier and journalist. In May 1940 he became Prime Minister. During the war, he made many famous speeches including lines which you may still hear. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat. Churchill's first speech to the House of Commons after he became Prime Minister, 1940. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender. Speech to the House of Commons after Dunkirk, see below, 1940. Question 8. The first farmers probably came to Britain from where? D. Southeast Europe. The first farmers arrived in Britain 6,000 years ago. The ancestors of these first farmers probably came from Southeast Europe. Question 9. Is the statement below true or false? A Formula 1 Grand Prix race is held in Britain every year. True. A Formula 1 Grand Prix event is held in the UK each year and a number of British Grand Prix drivers have won the Formula 1 World Championship. Question 10. What festival is celebrated on the 31st of October? B. Halloween. Halloween, the 31st of October, is an ancient festival and has roots in the pagan festival to mark the beginning of winter. Young people will often dress up in frightening costumes to play trick or treat. People give them treats to stop them playing tricks on them. A lot of people carve lanterns out of pumpkins and put a candle inside. Question 11. Is the statement below true or false? Some people rent land called an allotment where they grow fruit and vegetables. True. Some people rent additional land called an allotment, where they grow fruit and vegetables. Question 12. What task is associated with national trust? C. Preserving important buildings and places. Both are charities that work to preserve important buildings, coastline, and countryside in the UK. Question 13. In which modern-day country was the composer George Frederick Handel born? A. Germany. The German-born composer George Frederick Handel, 1685 to 1759, spent many years in the UK and became a British citizen in 1727. Question 14. Which two of the following are famous Paralympians? A. Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, C. Ellie Simmonds. Ellie Simmonds, 1994, is a Paralympian who won gold medals for swimming at the 2008 and 2012 Paralympic Games and holds a number of world records. Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, 1969, is an athlete who uses a wheelchair and won 16 Paralympic medals, including 11 gold medals, in races over 5 Paralympic Games. Question 15. Which of these statements is correct? A. The capital city of Scotland is Edinburgh. Question 16. Which famous religious building has been the Coronation Church since 1066 and is the final resting place for 17 monarchs? B. Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey has been the Coronation Church since 1066 and is the final resting place of 17 monarchs. Question 17. Which of these is not a Christmas tradition in the UK? C. Having a barbecue. Christmas is celebrated in a traditional way. People usually spend the day at home and eat a special meal, which often includes roast turkey, Christmas pudding, and mince pies. They give gifts, send cards, and decorate their houses. Christmas is a special time for children. Very young children believe that Father Christmas, also known as Santa Claus, brings them presents during the night before Christmas Day. Many people decorate a tree in their home. Question 18. When were the first professional football clubs formed? D. 19th century. Football is the UK's most popular sport. It has a long history in the UK and the first professional football clubs were formed in the late 19th century. Question 19. The National Eisteddfod is a major cultural festival that takes place in which country? D. Wales. The National Eisteddfod of Wales is an annual cultural festival which includes music, dance, art and original performances largely in Welsh. It includes a number of important competitions for Welsh poetry. Question 20. Sir Anthony van Dyck was famous as which of the following? C. Painter. Many of the painters working in Britain in the 18th and 17th centuries were from abroad, for example, Hans Holbein and Sir Anthony van Dyck. British artists, particularly those painting portraits and landscapes, became well known from the 18th century onwards. Question 21. The Festival of Lights is another name for which of the following? A. Diwali. Diwali normally falls in October or November and lasts for 5 days. It is often called the Festival of Lights. It is celebrated by Hindus and Sikhs. It celebrates the victory of good over evil and the gaining of knowledge. There are different stories about how the festival came about. There is a famous celebration of Diwali in Leicester. Question 22. Which of these statements is correct? A. Civil servants are politically neutral. They are chosen on merit and are politically neutral, they are not political appointees. Question 23. In a Crown Court, who decides what penalty will be, in the case of a guilty verdict? C. The judge. If the jury finds a defendant guilty, the judge decides on the penalty. Question 24. Official reports of parliamentary proceeding are published in which of the following? A. Hansard. Proceedings in Parliament are broadcast on television and published in official reports called Hansard.